and let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one.
Thank you for your holster purchase. I wanted to go over today a little bit about our holsters, basically a little intro. I'm not going to go into everything, but I want to introduce you to the holster. There's a couple tips and tricks I want to go over. This is for the Glock 19. This is my personal carry gun, and I have a loaded magazine over here. However, the gun is not loaded. We'll use the magazine in a second to show you something, and then after that, we'll put it away. But right now we want to make sure the gun is chamber cleared, nothing in the chamber. I'm going to go ahead and sit it down, but we haven't got anything in the chamber, no magazine, nothing like that in the gun. Alright, so this is what your holster is going to come looking like. It's going to come set up just like this. It's going to be all the way forward here, all the way forward here. You've got one more notch. Actually, you've got two more notches. You can go this way, and then you've got one more notch. You can go this way. And there's a video I'm going to link below or on the home page to how to utilize your clips, ways you can adjust them and all that good stuff. Also the belt wing. The belt wing is going to come just like this with the small one attached, or it should be with the small one attached, and then you're going to have a large one just in the bag that you've purchased with your holster. A couple things about this. One, it's got the audible snap, so I'm going to take the firearm, insert it. We have the audible snap. That's what we're looking for. What we're looking for is it to be tight enough for it not to just fall out. Now, here's where the magazine comes into play. Unload your firearm. Make sure there's nothing in that chamber. I'm going to put a loaded magazine back in, but I'm not going to rack it in the chamber. I'm going to have a pillow or something, or your bed, or a mat or something under my gun. I'm going to insert it, and I'm going to shake it, making sure I'm not holding the gun in and it's not falling out, but it is easy to draw the firearm. That is what we're looking for. Alright, so I've took the magazine back out, making sure the chamber is clear again. Now we'll do some more stuff with it. Alright, so that's what we're looking for. If you've got it too loose, and when you shake it, the gun just falls out, that's not good. Reason being, you don't want it that loose, and I know there's a lot of holsters out there that the guns just slide down into. There's no audible snaps. There's none of that. However, if you get into a physical altercation, and that's the type of holster you're wearing, it is going to come off your waist. If I remember correctly, 60% of the time, these types of attacks are physical first, and then you draw the gun. And if you're in that type of attack with a physical altercation, it's just going to fall out of your waistband. Then the criminal's going to grab it, and then he's going to shoot you with it. So we don't want that. We want it to snap in, snap, and not fall out. This would be a good rustling around right here if this gun's doing this. But I can grab my gun, and I can pull it out fairly easy. For my appendix carry in the waist, guys, the way it is set up is the way I suggest you starting. Make sure it just doesn't fall out of your waistband, but when you put it on, you're going to basically, the belt going across is going to sandwich it in, kind of. And with that sandwiching effect, it's going to make it a little bit tighter. So you may have to loosen it up a little bit. Try it out. It's got these little basically retention blocks or stop blocks. They do two functions. They stop the gun from or the belt from going too far. So if I push right here, it doesn't sandwich right here no matter how hard I push, kind of like it does here. It will actually sandwich here, but right here is where it's detrimental. If it sandwiches here, it can make it so hard you can't get the gun out. So it does two purposes. It is a retention tightening, or it's a stop block to allow it not to allow it to sandwich here. Alright, so you have the 3 retention screws. You got 1 here, you got 2 there. There'll be a video below of how to do all that, how to utilize your belt wing. Appendix guys, you may be okay with this one on here. What the belt wing does and what the risers do is they take the gun grip, and as your gun's sitting here, as it goes across this riser, it pushes that grip back into your body. Now, this may not be enough for you. If this is not enough for you, swap these out. Video link below of how to take all this off and do all that good stuff. But it's real easy. You just take these 2 screws off, take that screw out, swap this out, put all that back. It's simple, but then you can go to a larger riser, and that will just give you a little bit more push into your body. Now for my 3 o'clock plus guys, basically my 3 o'clock and up, going around that waist to the 3 o'clock and further guys, start here. This may be too much though. Depending on how tight you wear your belt around your waist, if you wear your belt super tight, because that's the tightest part of your body right there, is going around your hips, right in there, you may want to take this block off altogether, this riser. So you just unscrew it here, you would take this off, there's a little nut behind there, drop the nut out, and then try it that way. And that should give you plenty right there, and it wouldn't be too tight at that point. Alright, so for my 3 o'clock plus guys, you may not want a riser at all. For my appendix carry guys, this may be good, or you may want to go to the larger one. Small of the back guys, if you go to the small of the back, the same thing. I suggest starting with the smaller one because it's not as tight around your back, and that smaller one will, you have it around your back, the belt will hit it and it will push that grip back into your body. If that's not enough, put your larger one on here and see if that's enough. Or some of you guys may have it to where you don't need one at all, so you take the riser off. I do suggest leaving the belt wing on, but just take the riser off. The belt wing actually adds rigidity to the holster, which is good for several reasons, but it does that. My outside the waistband guys, I suggest just taking this little riser off altogether, leave the belt wing. Again, it adds rigidity to the holster, which is really good, and it helps out there. Now, outside the waistband guys, as far as tightening your gun up, I highly suggest, I don't want this type of draw here, which is a fairly smooth, easy draw. I'm not putting a lot of pressure, I'm just barely pulling, and then it's coming out right there. You don't really want that on outside the waistband. Alright, so what you need to do is go over here, run in on that one, run in on those two, tighten them up, and make it to where you actually have to grab your gun and yank it. Alright, so you want that good yanking effect with your gun. You want it in there so tight that you really have to yank it out. Reason being, it's not really the fighting or the physical altercations that we're worried about at that point. It is if somebody comes up behind you, you're open carried, and they come up behind you and they grab your gun and they do this, it won't come out. Alright, so you feel that yank, you get your hand down on that gun, you elbow them, you get into that fight. So I suggest tightening these up very tight for my outside the waistband guys, so it is a real, I mean, I'm talking you really have to yank that gun out. So that's my suggestion. You know, it's your holster, you do what you want to do with it, but as far as carrying, I've been in the carrying world for a long time now. I've been carrying a concealed weapon for 25 years now. And I've been teaching this stuff for about 14 years, actually going on 15 years in a couple days. In fact, I started January 2008. I believe it was January 8th of 2008. It was my first actual instruction. So I've been doing this for a while. I highly suggest it being really tight for you outside the waistband guys, where you've got to get that snap draw out, just in case you lose your situational awareness. Somebody comes up, they try to grab it, that way it will hug in. You can get your hand down on it, you can elbow them, get them off of you, then you can draw back, drop back and draw, and do what you got to do at that point. And that's my suggestion on that. They'll also link a video below or on the home page. There'll be videos of how to take all this hardware off of here, put all this hardware over here for my left hand inside the waistband carriers, my right hand outside the waistband carriers, because this is right hand inside, left hand outside. Swap it all over, it goes to the opposite. Alright, so it's ambidextrous in and outside the waistband. It has the dual retention clips. This is something we want when you get into that altercation. You don't want your holster just flying off of your belt in the altercation. You also don't want, when you're done, when you've got the guy off of you, a lot of the cheaper non-retaining clips, what'll happen is you go to draw the gun, and instead of just the gun coming out, the whole holster comes out. So you have to adapt and overcome, pull your holster off, and all that. And we don't need all that. That puts you a few seconds behind the curve, and seconds can be life or death. So the retention clips work very well. We've been in a lot of training situations. We work with a lot of our martial arts instructors, and we'll use their dojos, and we'll go to their dojo plain closed. Of course, you have to take your shoes and stuff off but we can wear our jeans and our daily carry, and we'll get into those altercations, and these have not come off our belts, and we've been in some pretty good altercations. So these clips work really well. There'll also be a video below showing you how to utilize the clips, ways you can set them. And in fact, I have a gun. It's a pretty large gun, so I had to kind of catty corner it in my waist. But I've actually taken this clip and I've moved it over here so it looks like this. So it sits really well for me right there. So that's an option as well. Also in your pack, you're going to have a little package of this stuff. It's called Vibratight. Basically, it's what locks your screws down. And honestly, these screws aren't a big deal here. It's these screws right here, because these are the ones that are when you're drawing and all that good stuff. So it's going to look like this, and there'll be a video below of how to put this stuff on. It is just one little drop per screw. Once you get the adjustment you're looking for. Now, what I suggest you do is you try it out like this. You put it on. If that doesn't feel right, you can add the larger riser, take the riser away, adjust these up and down. Find your adjustment. Take your first couple weeks, find your adjustment, get it to where you like wearing it. Once you find that point that it sits on your body the way you want it to sit, because the gun that I'm carrying now, I carry the Glock 19, but I have a light laser on it. I've adjusted this up one, and then this one sits where it's at, and that works perfectly. Plus I've put the larger riser on it, so that works perfectly. But it took me, you know, it wasn't like the first day I would wear it like this for a day. I'd be like, I think I can adjust it. So I'd adjust it a little bit, and then I would get it and be like, yeah, okay, let me try it a little bit this way, and then I'd try it that way. Nope. So I came back to this one, and then I found the perfect spot for my gun to sit. Now, with it sitting without the light laser, these sit up one, and that's the way it fits me there. Alright, so there's a lot of things to take into account at that point. With the light laser, it sits right here and it's good with the larger riser. So that's things to take into account. And then there'll be a video showing you how to use this stuff. It's really simple. Once you get everything set, once you get all your screws tightened down to where you want them, the right draw, all these set where basically you just count you back it out and you count how many turns. It could even be like half turns, and then you dab it and then you put it back that many turns and you're right back where you are. Again, these, once you get them, you just tighten them all the way down. This isn't doing anything as far as the gun's concerned. It's just holding the clip. These will have a certain tightness to them, so you have to count backing out, as well as this one you count backing out, and then you put your dabs. And this will last you a long time. If you get to a point to where you don't want to wear on your side, outside the waistband, you want to wear appendix, you can swap all. It is just it's just to keep it from vibrating loose, basically. So you can still take it apart, and then you can drop it, and you'll still have this stuff however long, basically, because I've been using this on several holsters that I've had, and I've still got a good bit in there, and I've probably used it on 10 holsters, even custom holsters. We'll have guys come in and I'll custom make them, and then once we get it set and once they're good with it, they'll come back and I'll just go ahead and hook them up with that, and I'll dip it for them. Alright, so drawing. When you're drawing your gun, a couple things about these holsters. With all of this hardware, there's a learning curve for some people. A lot of you, there's not. Most of you are going to grab the gun, draw it straight out. Alright, and that's a good draw. Some of you will grab the gun and you're gonna draw it kind of like that to your instinctive shooting. Especially us concealed carry guys, we're gonna draw kind of like that and come back. No problem. The problem is for you guys that really want to take this gun and pull it this away. Alright, so basically what you're doing is you're pushing it in here and it's going to bind. You can't do it right here. You can do it once you start the draw. Once I start the draw, I can, but before I start that draw, I can't do much. Once I start it, I can get it out, but you've got to start it before you can pull it this away. On the side, guys, I don't suggest going exactly straight up and down. I suggest canting it forward a little bit, and what this will do on your side is if you do it right, these clips, they'll be on the other side for you right hand guys. These clips will actually pull this grip kind of around your back, so it'll kind of be sitting on your side almost around your back right there, so it will actually snug it to your body. and then if it's set forward, then you just got a straight out draw. You don't have to worry about trying to do this, trying to pull it out like that. You straight up, and then you can drop down from your side. So that's just a couple tips and tricks. We have had some people ask us about the drawing. Yes, you can come straight out. Yes, you can come this way. Yes, you can come this way after you start. You can't go to begin with, because some of these holsters, I know, you just lay your gun in there basically. It just drops right in. We did not make a holster like that for several reasons. One, you need to retain that holster. You don't want it coming off in altercations, and I don't think a lot of people realize how often the altercation starts before the gun is drawn, because it's a lot. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you a few things about our holster. Again, we offer that lifetime guarantee. If you ever have problems about the holsters, shoot us an email at holsters@defensetraining.org. If you have any questions or anything, shoot us the email, holsters@defensetraining.org. Check all of our videos out. It goes over all the stuff. It also goes over what the bump out here is for, why we bumped it out on the clip right here, why we pushed it out to 1/4 inch, basically what that does. There's a full overview video below. We do offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with your holster, just shoot us an email, let us know. We'll hook you up. Lifetime warranty. If you have any problems, shoot us that email. If you have a holster that we don't stock, shoot us an email and ask us if we're going to stock it. If you're close enough to us, even if we're not going to stock it, we can custom make your holster. So check us out, guys. defensetraining.org.